Alright, so Gran Turismo 7 finally put the 992 GT3RS into the game here. As most people know, this thing is an absolute weapon around any circuit you put it on here. The challenge today that I wanted to figure out here is, can we make a 996 GT3 go around the Nordschleife faster than a 992? Now the 996 is going to have all the mods I could possibly put on it to make it faster on the corners and on the straightaways. This 992 here is going to be completely bone stock with the exception of putting on hard slick tires. So the slowest slick tire you can get on here, the 996 is going to have soft tires. I wanted to put hard tires on this car because we are still going around a circuit and I still want a little bit of grip in the 992 here, and I think it should be fair if we're just on hard. So we're going to see how that all goes. So first and foremost, we are going to set a base lap time in the 992 here and see if we can make it beatable in the 993. So without further ado, I think we should get started here and put in a pretty solid lap time here in the 992. Now first and foremost, I want to say Gran Turismo 7 has some amazing engine noise in it. In their previous game, Gran Turismo Sport, the engine noise was overwhelmed by the sound of straight cut gears for some reason, basically every car. But in here, it's a lot more of a pure driving experience. This car puts out quite a beautiful exhaust note. Almost into the grass there, but we're keeping it steady. This car is just so direct. We are using every inch of track we got there. We're gonna try to tidy up a little more, but we're still looking pretty fast right now. Now this corner is something we can probably hold flat coming up here, and then we're gonna lift slightly around. Oh, it's just so easy to drive. I've only driven this car a few times since it was released, but every single time I have, it's been an absolute pleasure. Even right there on that little lip, a lot of cars tend to kind of lift the front nose off. This one just stays absolutely planted. Braked a little bit too late there. We kind of missed the later apex, but that's alright. We are giving the 996 some room to breathe. We're gonna go flat out down here, and just at the top of this marker here, we're gonna hit the brakes down into 5th, a little squirrely. We can hit 4th, and then down into 2nd on a later apex. Ease on the throttle on the way out. One downshift here. This corner is extremely unforgiving. It can send you right into the wall if you downshift at the wrong RPM, then your back end will swing out. And then a bit of a double apex corner there, which we hit pretty okay. That section, always off balance, but it was extremely planted through there. Pretty remarkable that this is a road car, because it handles like a GT3 Cup car. Alright, we're gonna go down into 3rd here, keep it tight, touch of understeer, not totally ideal, but yet again, we are giving the 996 some room to breathe here. This corner is always a little bit tricky, as it's a fast left and then a very tight right-hander. Yeah, see, we almost got a touch of oversteer. I kind of had to make a bit of a correction. This section should be all flat out. Even this left here, beautiful. We extremely fast. We're going to downshift twice just to hug this apex a little bit. And the next one up into fifth, and we're just going to lift off. Oh, I cut the track a little bit there. That corner came a little sooner than expected. Open up our steering just slightly and onto the carousel. We're going to see how this thing does. Alright, now coming up here, this is a very fast corner. I think we should lift a little bit. Yeah, just so we don't, you know, go into the wall. Nice and easy through fourth, down into third here. Keep it tight to the apex. Beautiful. Bit of a lift. Oh, wow. Double apex, went very smooth through there. This downhill really wants to shoot you wide, but we kept it in line. That's a late apex that usually gets the best of me. We kind of hit it, but it wasn't perfect. Bit of a four-wheel drift there. That was a little bit sketchy. Alright, now this section we can just kind of hold flat out here in fifth gear. And we are going to ease on the brakes a little bit, downshift into fourth as this corner just gets tighter, and then one more down into third gear. And hard on the way out. Into the second carousel here. This one's a little bit shorter, so we can just kind of hold it tight. Oh my goodness, this car is tremendous. Alright, now this corner is super crucial to making sure we get a fast exit onto the straightaway. So we're going to hold in fourth here, lift off a little bit, keep it tight now. That wasn't ideal. I'd like to be a little tighter, a little earlier there, but that's alright. Now I'm very curious to see if this thing can hit 300 kilometers an hour on the back side of this hill here. Once we start heading down, we're going to pick up a lot of speed. I wonder how close we can get to 300. Turning into the left, down we go. Oh, we are hitting 390. We're going to ease on the brakes here, because if we are too hard on the brakes, that is going to take the whole chassis out of balance. Oh, that wasn't too clean. Once again, more breathing room for the 996, but this is still not going to be an easy one to beat here. Looks like we're doing it in just under 7 minutes. A 6:59.1. That is going to be a bit of a challenge for a car built in 2001, but I think with the help of a few mods, things are going to turn out just alright. Let's hop in the 996 and see what we can do here. Alright, we are now seated here in the 996 GT3. I did put pretty much every single mod we can on this car to make it go a little bit faster. So our horsepower is about at 417 with the help of some soft, slick tires, stiffened suspension, you know, and of course we got to put on that beautiful racing muffler to give this a little bit extra horsepower too, and a fantastic exhaust note. So let's see how this thing does. Alright, so I can tell you right off the bat, this car has a much more pleasurable experience to the ears here. This flat six partnered with this racing muffler is putting out a beautiful symphony. Now, I can tell just by those first few corners here, this thing is a lot more squirrely than the 992. The way I'd put it is, in the 992 you're using the steering wheel. In this car you are negotiating with the steering wheel. It's a lot lighter, kind of on the front end. but still pretty decently smooth through there. We're gonna go slow in here and make sure our exit out here is fast. Now coming up this hill in the 992, we did hold it flat and didn't do a wheelie. We're gonna try it in this and then lift at the top of the hill. Hopefully we survive. And we did. A little bit lighter on the brakes and just hold that steering angle the whole way through. Hit a bit of curb there, that was a little sketchy, but we're still doing all right. We're gonna get up into 6th gear here and go up this lip. Oh, a bit of a wheelie too. Nice and easy in 5th gear here. Oh, see, that's the thing. We almost got sent off into the wall there. That corner is so fast and unforgiving if you downshift wrong. Once again, through this section, we're going flat out. What I like about this is there is a lot less gears than the 992, which means we have to change gears less. So in some ways, it's a bit of a smoother drive, but also it takes a bit more of a skillful drive to get it to work the way you want it here. It's something we really got to get used to. Now I have quite a story about the 996 Porsche, a 996 GT2 in particular. So I actually had the chance to ride in one when I was about 8 years old with my dad, and we took it on quite a spin. And I remember getting out of that car and saying, "Dad, I never want to get in that thing again." Because it was just so intense. The way it handled, the way it accelerated, hit the wall there, that kind of matches exactly what I'm saying. This thing is squirrely. But yeah, I mean, as an 8-year-old hopping in a 992 Porsche, you know, you really haven't been anything that intense ever. And then, you know, a young guy getting in a car like that, it's a terrifying experience, and I was terrified. But maybe now at my age, I'd be happy to get in one of these again. I mean, I'm certainly enjoying myself in this thing right here. So a real life driving experience would be something incredible. Alright, had to do a touch of brakes there just so we could get a better exit. Turned out okay. Once again, just like in the 992, we are going to be holding this flat all the way through. Even this tighter left-hand corner. Yeah, like nothing, barely really had to turn the wheel at all. And we're gonna make sure we keep this part more on the left and squeeze to the right so we don't get shot out to that left curb there. There we go. Hard on the brakes, harder, because that is gonna shoot us right to the outside. Another corner that shoots us to the outside is this one, so we're gonna lift. Yeah, as you can see, a bit of a four-wheel drift coming down that corner. And not an ideal apex right there, but that's okay. We're still doing all right. Alright, coming up here, we're just going to lift slightly. There we go, but use all the track we can into third here for the majority of this section, actually. We're going to hit second gear first, though, and then we're back up. Double apex, sort of. Alright, quite smooth. Oh, we really almost lost it there. I'm glad I was easy on the throttle. A touch more throttle, we would have been right in that wall. Yeah, this thing's sketchy. Oversteer, understeer, you name it. At this speed, it's gonna do it. Alright, bit flat through here. One downshift into fourth. Beautifully held. All right. But yet again, another nail-biting experience right through there. We're gonna downshift nice and lightly into fourth just so we can take this corner easy. And then into third. A lot of these gears we're actually going through, or a lot of these corners we're going through on the same gear as the 992. Kind of hopped off the carousel there. That was nice. Oh, bit of an early shift. Did not mean to do that, but that's okay. We're gonna put ourselves back into third gear here. This is actually gonna give us a very quick exit onto the straightaway. Now the time, it is looking very close. This does not have nearly the amount of top speed as the 992, which might actually be the deal breaker. I think around the corners this thing is just as fast. But we're gonna see, we are cutting it extremely close here. Alright, and we did not beat the time, but boy did we get close. What a build this car was. Oh my goodness. That was quite a lap. I really had to focus in. I tell you, doing commentary in the 992 while driving was way more easy than doing it in this car. This thing was an absolute battle. I know it didn't look like it, but I was really fighting the steering. This thing wanted to go off grip a lot, but really what can you expect from a car from 2001 compared to 2023? Still a phenomenal experience, and honestly I quite like the sound of this a lot more due to that muffler. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we did not beat the time that the 992 put down, but we got awfully close. We did have a bit of a shunt on the wall actually, and maybe that could have been a big game changer for us here, but overall it was still a pretty good lap. Two phenomenal cars. It really shows you how much technology changes throughout time and cars in history. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining me on the first video here on this channel, and also drop some recommendations down on what I should do with this game in the comments here, any challenges or anything like that. I'd be more than happy to do some of those. I have some ideas as my own too I'll be putting out there as well. But anyways guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button too, as this is my first video and this channel has 0 subscribers at the moment, so I'd love to see a few more of you guys engaged here right off the bat. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Take care.